I love it. I love it. Thanks, Jonathan,
Thank
for
you.
reaching out and setting this up. It was really nice to kind of talk through this. And I was inspired because I was listening to Courtney Sanders' podcast. She's like a motivational speaker, and I just listened. She had one that said, like, when you're in a motivation-based business and getting to your why, I was like, this is great fodder for my conversation with Jonathan. So that's kind of what got me like, I need to add more to this.
I need to add more to this. Yeah, I was doing some research on
Wow.
things, because it is, I feel like I see it all the time. And like I was telling you, okay, we're blah, blah, blah. This is authenticity in 3 parts. No, that's not authentic. It's not real. It's the perceptions are reality, and what perceptions you're putting out there is really where your authenticity is based. And if you're putting out a fake story, people are going to see through it. I don't remember. I had a quote from somebody. Where is it? It kind of reminded me, like, hey, wait a minute. The founder of Love Social, she says authenticity is a top marketing trend, but nobody wants to hear about authenticity anymore. Show them you're authentic. Don't just say, I'm authentic, I'm innovative. Show them that you're authentic and innovative, and guess what? Then you don't actually have to tell them.
Yeah.
And that's, showing, not telling, in your stories is really where you're going to win. So there was a whole lot.
I love that. No, I really love that. I think the showing part is so important. And I think so much more beyond social media is just like who you are outside of that space. People get really worried about boxing in with social media and like, who am I? And how is this little tiny frame showing me right now? And I just think like the more the copy is comfortable to you, the more you'll you see your story, right? They're just snippets of your life kind of like pasted out there.
Yeah.
And when someone's looking at it from like a high level, not even zooming in, but like at a high level, would they see like these like snippets that all have to thematically do with your life? Like, yeah, there's like a formula for that from a strategy perspective, but I think you can only create that at the lowest level, like at the very intentional, this is what's happening for me level, to be able to take a step back and actually see the bigger picture.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, like, there's so much happening on social media, and people are like, oh my God, I'm not getting the engagement that I was getting. I'm not getting, and I get it. You're not getting that engagement. And yes, it feels wrong right now. Like, oh my God, I'm not getting that engagement. But one of the things that I was doing, I was researching about why everybody's engagement is way down. Why, people who were getting 3,000 likes on something are getting 700. And we all talk about, oh, the bots are doing things and they're bad. Not necessarily, but the bots were doing things. They were artificially inflating people's likes. They were artificially inflating people's comments. Because even if you're not using one, there are people that are out there that are, and they're targeting your people. Your followers are being targeted by other bots and other organizations and businesses. So some of the comments and some of the likes that you get on stuff isn't real. So when Instagram takes those bots down to, they can only like and comment like 100 times, let's say, from 1,000, the decrease in your engagement may not be, you may not see 90% decrease, but you may see 50, because some of the people that were engaging with you aren't real. But if that's happening across the board, that's okay. Your engagement may be down 50%, but if everybody's engagement is down 50%, and what Instagram is doing is even keeled and across the board, in the long run, people are going to forget about those times when you got 3,000 likes and go, oh my God, they have 1,000 likes on this. That must be great. It's just reframing it. And I think we're going to be in an area where we're reframing a lot of things on social media, because Facebook is, going through a lot. The whole upcoming election is going to change the way that social media is viewed because of what happened in the last election. There, one way or another, things are going to be different at the end of, 2020. In every facet of, I think, what we're doing, because of innovation and technology and the geopolitical atmosphere right now. And it impacts social media and all that we do. We don't talk about it directly. We don't want to talk about it directly, but it impacts everything that we do.
It really does. It changes so much. And with so much money pumped into like a promotion of small business on these various platforms, it's going to be interesting to see how it will shift people towards pumping money into one versus now promoting in another, right? And I know, for example, like there's different business models of promotions and ads and things like that across the different platforms, but it'd be interesting to see how the market shifts for that too. Like if there is a better and bigger market someplace else, how people will shift and you know, find their audience, or where is the audience going, right? That's always the first question. Where is everyone?
Where is everyone?
And a lot of, like, are they taking social media breaks, which honestly, I tell my clients to do, and I also do myself. So it's also like, is it just something where, you know, people are in the summertime, less engaged, trying to be more intentional about their social media, unfollowing a lot of things, just purely for the fact that it is just so saturated on these specific platforms. I've never loved Instagram for that. You can't see everything on like a dashboard like you can with Pinterest, right? Like where you can see multiple rows and kind of scan quickly. I spend a ton more time on Pinterest than I do on Instagram now. And, you know, even for Instagram, I'm only getting through like 4 or 5 scrolls and I'm like, yeah, I'm done. There's nothing really here, right? It's all kind of like the same content. So when people are looking for information, it's just interesting to see like where that market's looking and that pressure to be on the top of their feed, you know, sponsored or whatever.
And as somebody who's marketing to them, like I always have to remind clients, doesn't matter how good your content is, you're still at max going to reach 10% of your followers at max.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so everybody's not going to see it. Like I've managed your social for a long time. You still do not pop up automatically in my feed. I don't see your content all the time.
I don't see yours either. Yeah. It's a very similar experience where, like, you know, your video challenge and everything, I didn't even know about it. Right. And I'm like, why? You know, like what is going on? But it's like the algorithms keep pumping out the same people every time. And they're not even people I really like. It's just kind of weird, you know?
Yeah, and it may just be, you know, you clicked on somebody, or I love when this happens to me. Like I make a comment because somebody is like so far off of what, you know, I'm like, that is not the definition of anything that you really, you know, whatever it is. I make a comment because I'm like, I don't want this misinformation to be going out there and people thinking, oh, especially if it's something that like hits my group or a group member, you know, like I don't want them to think this is real. This is not what is really happening or whatever it is. I make a comment and then they're always popping up in my feed because I made a comment on there. I'm like, no, I don't want to see them. I mean, I do, because if they're continuing to spread misinformation, but I'm learning to like and comment and deep comment, like more than just this is great, but you know, I love how you did this, and to question, because even in our comments, we need to really be questioning people in order to get that deep engagement that we're looking for.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. Something I want to be better about, but always find myself getting into the wrong deep conversations. It's always like, so let's talk about migrants on the border. And I'm like, oh, let's talk about it. You know, but
let's not. Okay, bye.
Exactly.
So.
But anyways, thank you again so much. I'm going to pop off and grab myself some lunch. And I haven't even had coffee today. I'm just not.
Go get coffee.
Thank you. Talk to you soon, Jonathan. Let me know if you need like anything additional after our conversation.
All right. Sounds good.
All right.
Apparently I have a dog that wants to eat.
Aw, puppy. Oh. Who's like that?
All right.
Bye, Jonathan.
Bye. Hey, stop.